Hey Madden gamers, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this YouTube video breakdown, we're going to take a look at a play that you'll find out the dime 1-4 double mug that brings pressure on the quarterback, not only through the A gap, but it also gives you edge pressure even if the running back stays in the pass block. The name of the defense that we use for this video breakdown is the dime 1-4 double mug mid blitz. Here's a look at the playbooks you can find this play out of. Before I actually show the three blitz setups that I'm going to show out a dime 1-4 double mug mid blitz, let's take a look at the default pass coverages and pass rush assignments. So this particular defense, as you probably already guessed, it's going to be a cover zero defense. So you're going to have 5 defenders here as you look at it that are going to be in man coverage, and then you have 6 defenders that are going to actually be rushing the quarterback. So you got these guys here along the line of scrimmage as you look at it. Now 2 of those defenders here, as you look at it, you've got them in the double mug position or in the A gap positions as you look at it. So anytime you hear the word double mug, that means you're going to have 2 defenders that are going to be in the A gap. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first blitz setup. The first blitz setup that I want to show out a dime 1-4 double mug mid blitz is one you've probably already seen, where we're going to use the Texas 4-man stunt. Now for the rest of the video breakdown, we are going to use that stunt. So if you're following along, just keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and go through the setup. It really doesn't take a whole lot with this one as far as the first setup here is concerned. All you're going to do here is call that Texas 4-man stunt, call press coverage, and then you're going to spread the defensive line out. Now with this particular defense and the way the stunt set up, most of you guys already know this, but for those of you who don't, what you're looking for here is to get one of these 2 edge rushers that are going to come towards the inside here and shoot through the A gap. And that's really what the Texas 4-man stunt's all about as far as getting A gap pressure. And you'll have these 2 guys, if you look to the inside of them, these 2 guys here, as we look at it, are going to be these guys here are going to stunt to the outside here. Both these guys will stunt to the outside, creating this pressure that we're looking to get. And of course, you end up having these 2 guys to the inside, which are going to be the 2 linebackers right here. And they're both just going to be blitzing through these A gaps. Now, they're not really going to do anything per se. Sometimes, honestly, when you let these guys blitz, you end up causing more harm than you do anything. And sometimes they clog up everything. But for the purpose of this video breakdown, I'm going to allow them to blitz. You could try to drop one of them back into coverage. I just want to show this, just a simple blitz here right off the bat. So let's keep going through it here. And right there, you can see that we get that pressure on that quarterback coming from that left end on the right side of your screen as you look at it. So let's go ahead and rewind it just again real quick. And we'll just go through the setup here. I'm not going to get too much detail on this because it's pretty simplified. So right there, again, you press, spread the defensive line, and then you got that type of pressure right there. So it's pretty easy to do. All right, I'm going to go on to the second setup, which is a little bit more advanced. The second blitz setup that I want to show out a dime 1-4 double mug mid blitz is another one where we're going to end up getting some A gap pressure. But this time we're going to do things a little bit different. And we're going to stay in control of this defender right here, which is going to be this right end. Now he's going to be to your left side of your screen as you look at it. And basically, it's the same setup what I just showed. So you're going to call press man coverage, spread the defensive line out. And at this point here, I did want to point out something I didn't point out earlier, but you may have to take control of this guy here, depending on who he's covering, who's ever coming to running back. You may have to slide him over, and I'm not going to do it in the video breakdown, but just know that you may have to slide him, say, somewhere over in this direction here, somewhere towards the middle, so he can cover the running back a little bit closer. Of course, you could always do some, with the depth as far as with the safeties, you could, make them tight, or you can move them over, depending on however you want to do it. But regardless, you're going to probably want to move him over that way that running back's covered. I just want to point that out to you. And so that anybody's watching this video and saying, why is that guy so wide open? That's why I'm not making any adjustments for him. All right, from this point on, what I want to show you here is with this guy here. And what's going to happen when we run this is that rather than allowing him to blitz, so remember I talked about him supposed to be going to the inside here on his pass rush. He's supposed to be going to the inside here, and then he's supposed to go into the A gap. Instead, we're going to break off, and we're actually going to drop him back into coverage, and we're going to take away anything over the short middle of the field with this next setup. And basically, now you just have a 5-man pass rush. Let's go ahead and run through it, and you'll see what I mean here. So again, you've right there, see how I peeled off and I dropped back, and we still got that A gap pressure. So that's another way of running that. So again, you're going to go ahead and call press man coverage, spread the defensive line out, and then you're just going to take control of that defensive end that I'm showing there and just drop him back into coverage. And you should still get that pressure on the quarterback. All right, now I want to go on to the third setup, which is even more advanced than this one. This third blitz setup that I want to show out a dime 1-4 double mug mid blitz is one that I've kind of shown already this week as far as getting edge rush pressure by manually rushing the defensive end. But we're going to add one extra element to it, and we're also going to get A gap pressure along with it. So now we get 2 guys coming in after the quarterback. So it's basically the same setups on what I've been showing here, the first two. I just want to point that out to you. So let's go through it here as we go through it. So the first thing you do is called press man coverage. You want to spread the defensive line out. Now, one thing I want to point out there, you're going to notice that I slid this guy inside about a notch to the inside. And that's what I'm going to do with him, only because I feel like if I slide him in a little bit, I get a little bit better angle when I'm going to the outside. That's the reason I did that. So I just want to point that out to you. All right, at this point, we're going to get ready to bring up the stunt menu. Now, this is where I want to stop things for a second. Now, for me, if I were actually playing online and I wasn't trying to show you guys this video breakdown, I would probably bring up the substitution menu. I found one thing that I have found a little bit better with this rather than just using the stunt menu. If I hold down the left trigger and the right trigger and I press at the 7 o'clock position when I rush this guy with the substitution menu on, I just feel like it's more comfortable for me. But with you guys trying to see what I'm showing here, I'm trying to show it with the stunt menu. So I would suggest, if you guys go into the lab, I would suggest trying to do it both ways that I'm showing you. Do it with the stunt menu. If you're playing online, you feel comfortable using the substitution menu, do that. Whichever one you feel comfortable with, it works. I personally feel more comfortable pressing the right and the left trigger along at the 7 o'clock position on the controller. But with that said, I'm not going to do it here. I'm just going to be holding down the right trigger, and then the left stick's going to be going at the 7 o'clock position, such as you see on your screen here. So if you look here, you can see right now, as you look at it, it's going at the 7 o'clock position. I just want to point that out to you. All right, so let's go ahead and run the rest of this, and you guys will see what happens here as far as the pressure on the quarterback. So right there, I go to the outside. I end up getting that A-gap pressure, and then I also get that pressure from the outside. If you made it this far, hit the like button, subscribe, and get notified for our latest Madden Guides YouTube video breakdowns. From the All-22 and instant replay, we can get a better idea exactly how the X and O's of this particular play works as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. Now, as you look at it, what we're trying to do is get pressure from these two defenders here. They're going to be coming. One's going to be coming from the outside, and the other one's going to be coming up through the A-gap. Now, Lawrence, as you look at your screen here, he's going to be coming to this area here, and we're looking to get pressure where he shoots through the A-gap. And again, that's why we're using the Texas 4-man stunt. Now, on the other side here, we've got Mafe. Now, what we're trying to do with him, now, normally with the Texas 4-man stunt, he would go to the inside as well and come through this A-gap. We're not looking to do that with him. Instead, we want him to get pressure from the outside. That's why we got to be in control of him. And again, I've shown this before as far as how you can get pressure by having some type of stunt that's going to have a defender going to the outside. In this case, it's going to have Knight. Now, Knight's lined up right here as you look at your screen right here. So he's going to be lined up here. And what he's going to be doing is he's going to be taking an outside pass rush angle in this area there. Now, hopefully, he can at least try to occupy the left tackle. Now, it doesn't always happen, but as long as he at least makes the left tackle look to block him, then this is going to allow us to get this outside pressure, again, from Mafe out here on the outside here, where he comes onto this outside, and then he applies the pressure on the quarterback once we release him. Now, we can either manually rush him ourselves once we get up about 4 to 5 yards, and then we can release him and then take control of somebody else, or we can go after the quarterback if we so choose. Now, that's the way I like to run this. So I just want to show that out to you guys, how you do that. So what I want to do here is we're going to go ahead and keep going through this, and we'll go through it with some motion here and show you guys as we run the play here from instant replay. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see what happens as far as getting that pressure on the quarterback here with this particular defense as you look at it. So let's go ahead and go through it here as you see right there. So once the ball is snapped, you can look right here. Now, again, I'm trying to get Knight right here to look to block, or at least try to get him to at least get the left tackle. In this case, as you're looking at, it's more or less the left guard who's actually coming out here to block him. But hopefully it'll delay enough time where I can get around. Even though that didn't work exactly the way I wanted to, it still is going to allow us to get to the outside. Look how this guy just stands, this left tackle right here. You're going to notice as you look at it, he doesn't try to block me as you're looking at your screen here. So you can see right here, he's not trying to go out into this direction here and actually block me, the one that I'm in control of, which is going to allow me to get that pressure on the quarterback. So that's nice right there. So again, as he gets to the outside, I release him, and back to the inside, you can see Lawrence now is coming through this A-gap, and he's going to be one applying that pressure on the quarterback, and plus from the outside. So you can see right there, that's how this defense works, is getting far as getting the pressure on the quarterback. We zoom out, you can see right now at this point, the coverages are pretty good. Now, our opponent might be able to, if he wanted to, and this is just something I did want to point out here. Now, I did not move that safety, the one that's the free safety that's covering this running back over here. So if that free safety would have been moved over, if I had slided him over, he would be in a lot position to defend that guy. I do want to point that out to you. So I just wanted to let you guys know on that. And then out here on the other side here, one of the things I do notice that if our opponent was to try to throw a pass over the top of this coverage before he got sacked, he might be able to complete that. I just want to point that to you out as well. So there's some things right there. Obviously, anytime you run a cover zero defense, you're going to have some issue with it. But as far as the pressure is concerned, you can see it gets in pretty darn quick right there as you look at your screen. So that's pretty nice as far as bringing the pressure on the quarterback. In the intro, I mentioned that this defense can actually do a pretty good job as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback, even if the running back stays in the pass block. And that's what I want to show here. So right now, the running back's going to be hot routed to stay in the pass block. You can see right there as you look at your screen, he's been hot routed to stay in the pass block. Now watch what happens with this setup here. We're still going to get pressure on the quarterback. Now the thing I can tell you is you may not end up getting it with the defender that you're in control of, but you will probably end up still getting that A-gap pressure. Now on occasion you may get from the outside as well, but most of the time you don't. So here you guys can see right there, we get that A-gap pressure on the quarterback as you can look at your screen right there. Let's rewind it just one more time and watch what the running back does as well. So again, he's going to be staying in the pass block. And I just want to show this to you. It's the same setup. Nothing changes here. And as far as getting with the pressure on the quarterback, but let's go ahead and look at it again. So right there, we spread the defensive line out, bring up the stunt menu, and we're going to go ahead and rush the quarterback with that defensive end, the one I was in control of. And right there, you can see the pressure. Now, if I were to rewind this just a little bit, which is what I want to do here, I want you guys to look at a couple things going on here. All right, so here is the running back right there. Remember, we stayed in the pass block. I want you guys to focus in on this defender right here, this inside linebacker that's rushing the quarterback as well. See how he picks him up? You can see right there that the running back picks up that blitzing linebacker as you look at it. And then because of that, it's going to allow us to get this pressure coming from this guy right here. We want it coming through that A-gap. Also, you can see right here, I'm in control of this guy right here. Now, what you can do, if you go back to the second blitz setup that I talked about, if you wanted to, you could peel off him, and rather than actually rush this guy, you could drop him back into pass coverage. Once you see that that guy gets that A-gap pressure, there's no need to rush him because you're not going to get it anyways. You're going to end up wasting your guy. A lot of times that left tackle does end up blocking. Now, granted, that left tackle is an X factor, and he probably would do a pretty good job anyways. But if you're playing against somebody maybe not as good as the left tackle blocking you, you may still be able to get around. I just want to point that out to you as far as with this. So there it goes with the pressure and with the running back staying in the pass block. All right, this particular defense, you guys need to take a look at if you like. It's a pretty nice defense to bring some pressure on the quarterback. As far as how the dime 1-4 double mug mid blitz, as I showed you, you guys can get some A-gap pressure. You can get some A-gap pressure combination with some outside pressure. So it's there. It's just a matter of how you guys want to run it. It is a cover zero defense. As you guys know, cover zero defenses can be beat pretty easy. If you guys got any comments, any feedback, please let me know. If you guys got some variations of this blitz you think might be better, please go ahead and suggest them in the comments below. Help out the other players that are here. We're all trying to get better at Madden. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with trying to help each other out. Again, I appreciate you guys watching the video breakdown. Thank you again. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.